After buying up most of the MOLLE panels that JCR Offroad offers, we're going to give you an unbiased review and a few candid thoughts on the overall functionality, the installation, and usefulness of these rather pricey products. We're going to be specifically talking about the JT side MOLLE panels, the JT front bed MOLLE panel, the JT overhead MOLLE panel, and the JT rear interior MOLLE panels. We were starting to collect a lot of overlanding gear like the snatch rope and the kinetic rope and tool bags and air compressors, and we wanted a place to start storing all these things, so the MOLLE panels work out great for storing all of this gear in a nice organized fashion. The installation of the panels itself wasn't really too difficult, but it wasn't necessarily simple. The panels are held together with some bolts and nuts. Those were easy to get on, but getting your fingers behind and trying to install the MOLLE panels was a little bit challenging. It was pretty pricey. It was $200 for this panel. It comes with everything you need, including all the hardware. It works directly in combination with the trail rail or without the trail rail. We did have some difficulty getting off the trail rail. In their video, it shows them just coming right off, but in our experience, the trail rail was held on with double-sided sticky tape as well as some plastic clips. So we actually had to use a crowbar to pry off the trail rail. You don't need to take it off all the way, just enough for the bracket to slip up underneath there and then for the bolt to go back into place. We do recommend picking up one of these bits because you will have to remount the end of the trail rail hole to where it mounts back into the body to get that screw back in there because it is bucked out a little bit. So because these panels were $200 each, it's a total of $600 for these panels for the back of the bed of the truck. You might think about considering a bed rack from JCR Offroad. Those come in at $700 and you can get up all that stuff onto the rack, but you do have more storage space and more area to put things with the MOLLE panels installed. The next we have the JT Overhead MOLLE panel. This one is $189. It also weighs 10 pounds. And for us, we use it to hold our CB radio and the communications and a few other things. The installation of this one wasn't as simple for us because the freedom latches on our Jeep Gladiator Mojave are angled. They do recommend you order a new set of freedom latches from Mopar. These are like 70 bucks though. Those freedom latches are flat on the bottom. All we did was we just shaved off enough for that MOLLE panel to fit inside there. If you have a Dremel, that would probably go faster. All we had was a file. It only took a couple hours to kind of shave these down. We did get them nice and perfect, and as soon as those were shaved down, that MOLLE panel fit right up in there. There's a few other tools I recommend you getting. One of them is a center punch, and when you line up the top of the holes to drill into the frame, you'll want to mark that precisely, so the center punch does a great job at doing that. You also want to have a strong drill bit for drilling through the frame. But with those things out of the way, it bolted in just fine. It does fit with our sunshade from Shade Idea from Amazon, and it does fit with the freedom tops on, and you do still have a little bit of finger room to get in there to undo the latches to get the freedom panels off. For us, this was highly worth picking up because again, it fits the CB radio up there just fine, and then there's like extra room for you to stuff little books and trail guides and everything else up underneath there, so definitely worth picking up. So lastly, we have the JT Rear Interior MOLLEs from JCR Offroad. These did not fit well at all. We wanted to use these to hang up like headlights and everything else because the storage is kind of lacking inside of our Gladiator Mojave. They are about an inch too short. And now on JCR Offroad's video, they show it on a Rubicon, they show it fitting just fine. We did have some difficulties on ours. It is an inch short. You'll have to flip up the bracket and invert it so that the slotted part is up top. One of the reasons it didn't fit too well was because our Mojave is different from the Gladiator Rubicon. The bolt that holds the back top on is actually located underneath the electrical closeout box on the Mojave. So the end result is you can't put the electrical closeout box on unless you get a bigger bracket. So I did talk to JCR Offroad. They basically told us that we were on our own. I was hoping that they were going to provide another bracket because surely other Mojave owners are running into this, but they said they've had hundreds of orders and have only seen this one other time, so I guess we have a special edition Mojave. You can get one of those longer brackets. You'll have to get from the store, and then you'll be able to put your electrical closeout box back on, but it's just something to be aware if you're going to purchase these panels from JCR Offroad. Combined with all the other MOLLE panels, JCR Offroad set us back about $900. So when you find yourself yourself collecting a lot of gear and you don't want it flying out the back of your truck, definitely give the MOLLE panels from JCR Offroad a look. The bed MOLLE panels fit perfect. The interior overhead MOLLE panel will require some shaving of your freedom latches, and then the rear interiors do have a problem with fitting, but overall they do work. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments about any of this process, let me know below and we'll get them answered, and then we'll see you on the next one.